For you this evening on What's Brewing, India caters to more than 50 million intercity travelers on a daily basis, an Omidyar network report shows. Now, despite a bumpy ride during the pandemic, the bus service segment in India has grown consistently. In 2020, more than 95.5 million people traveled by bus, and this number is estimated to reach 120 million by 2026, a Statista report says. Keen on making bus travel a lucrative option is startup Intercity Smart Bus, which claims to have achieved profitability and is aiming to achieve $100 million in the next 12 months. Backed by the likes of Nandan Nilekani and Samsung Venture Investment, the startup recorded over 2 lakh monthly seat capacity and 80% increase in revenue. To discuss the spike in travel, the kind of growth they are seeing, and the future roadmap for the company, joining me now on the show is co-founder Kapil Raizada. Welcome to the show, Kapil. Now, Intercity has grown 1.8 times in the first half of 2022, with revenues nearing $45 million in annualized run rate. And the platform is now profitable. So could you give us a sense of where do you plan to close this year?
Right. So travel has, as you know, travel has rebounded very strongly. And the Intercity Smart Bus offering has grown even stronger. So our first goal this year was to hit a business break-even, which I'm very happy to say that we achieved that in the last quarter as a rebound had happened. This year, we expect to go fairly strong. I think in the remaining half of this year, we are planning for another 50% growth. And next 12 months target is $100 million business break-even profitability.
So you want to reach the $100 million mark next. Now, till date, you have raised $30 million in funding, and as per reports, you're planning to raise another round of $25 to $30 million this year. So what is the fundraising plan?
Right. So our fundraising plan is essentially to cement the next stage of growth. We've kind of established a very solid product market fit. So we have created a fair bit of confidence on a lot of parameters. There is demand. There is market. We have a product that is being picked up by the consumers. We are now one of the single largest mobility brand out there. And we've also established a business break-even. So what we really want to do is now with the ready platform, basically scale this business model and establish a dominant leadership that we kind of started off with. That was a vision that we can redefine travel. And I think we are very close now to achieving the vision that we started off with initially.
All right, so are the talks on, and by when can we expect you to announce the fundraise?
So this is an ongoing process. I don't want to put a timeline around it currently, but we'll keep you posted as that happens.
All right. Now let's talk about business. What kind of increase in demand has the company witnessed from the start of this year? Has it come back to the pre-COVID level? And do you anticipate this number to go up?
Right. So yes. So this last quarter, the April, May, June quarter, was the first full quarter that was not affected by any COVID kind of disruption, and we saw a very, very significant improvement over what we compared in the last 2 years. So business travel and social travel, which are the two mainstream travel in the segment that we operate in. Our sense is they're not only back to normal, there was kind of a surge, I think, across the normal levels that we've seen in the last 2-3 years. Leisure travel and student travel, we believe, are still yet to pick up. And therefore, our forecast is that in the coming season of October, November, December, we expect the travel levels to surpass the all-time highs that we've seen so far. And that's what we are kind of building up in terms of addressing the demand that we see happening from October onwards this year.
So as the festival seasons are nearing, there's going to be more traction on the platform. Now, you've mentioned that consumers are willing to pay a premium for a consistent and differentiated service. Take us through your customer base. What's the monthly seat capacity you've clocked, and how has the revenue per trip improved for you?
Yeah, I mean, that's true. There is this common perception that customers don't want to pay more, Indian customers don't want to pay more. And I think what we've kind of demonstrated in the last year, 2 years or so is that's not really correct. Yes, customers are value conscious, but for the real value, there is willingness to pay a slight premium. To give you a sense, our average ticket price has increased from about 900,000 rupees to closer to a 1,300 kind of a range. That's about a 30% increase that's happened. That's one. Second is the kind of customers you talked about. We focus a lot on business travelers, SME, category businessmen, salespeople, working professionals, students, traffic, who kind of frequent a route, regularly. So for these people, some level of comfort, reliability, and safety is important. That's one. And second is because many of them are regular travelers. They know they know the route, they know the players, and once there is a product that gives them a slightly superior experience, they're happy to come back to that product again and again. So that repeat and retention automatically builds if there's a superior product that gets introduced into the market.
All right. Now, Intercity is present across 16 states in India. Take us through your expansion plans this year. Going ahead, what are a few key focus areas for you?
Yeah, actually, so we are currently running a capacity of about 2 lakh seats a month. We're present in about 45 routes. Our plan now is to up the capacity to about 3 lakh seats before the end of this year. And that's about a 50% increase. In terms of the specific growth strategy, there are basically two ways to grow. We either go deeper on the existing routes where we are, or we enter into new routes. For the next 6 to 9 months, our focus is going to be to expand on existing routes. We have established a fairly strong platform on the 45 odd routes that we are there in 16 states. And our primary goal now is to increase our market share in all the routes where we are present. So primary growth strategy is going to be increase market share, go deeper on the routes. There will be some route expansions that we anticipate, but that will be a smaller part of the overall growth strategy for the next, I would say, 6 to 9 months.
All right. Now, one final question, Kapil, before I let you go. You're also planning to convert over 5,000 regular buses to connected smart bus network by leveraging technology. Could you elaborate on what this feature would entail?
Right. So essentially, the whole objective of the smart bus technology is twofold. For the passengers, it means that they have visibility into the bus, they have visibility into the running of the bus, the schedules, and the safety that comes around having secure boarding zones, being able to track a bus, talk to the crew inside the bus, etc., etc. So that's the value proposition from a consumer perspective. However, there is a full stack platform on the back end that works in terms of managing the operational reliability and safety of the vehicles. Now, that includes things like location tracking, speed tracking of the vehicle, identification of hotspots where the delays on the routes could have happened, enforcement of checklists in terms of this, inspection of the vehicle before delivery, before the start of the trip, at the end of the trip. So the entire idea of the connected smart bus is that the bus should not be a black box. Today, it's a black box even for the owners and the operators who run the bus, because the bus is out there and there's very little oversight, active oversight that the bus allows. What we are putting in the vehicle is basically the eyes, the ears, and brain power, so that we not only understand what is happening in every trip, we're able to fix problems and assure consistent, reliable performance of every bus on every day. And the entire smart bus stack is built to capture a whole lot of data from the vehicle, a whole lot of data coming from the consumers, and a whole lot of data coming from our own trained crew who are out there in the field, which gets monitored and analyzed to be able to show and understand what happened and how do we improve the consumer experience trip after trip. So that's where the entire full stack technology goes in. And we believe that that is the only way the bus travel can be made more reliable, more safe, and more convenient.
All right, Kapil, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. We wish you the very best of luck with all your future plans.
Thank you, ma'am.
Moving on, Bangalore-based two-wheeler electric